His time has expired. Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, I say to Colin King, who was talking about the Blue-Greens conference, when you mix blue and green like that, you get a haughty shade of purple. And I think that there is no better colour to symbolise this national government than that. No better colour to symbolise a government that is beset by scandal and arrogance. Scandal and arrogance, and there is no better example of that than Judith Collins and her behaviour in the last few weeks. Judith Collins, who will not admit that she made a mistake, not one, but several mistakes. Judith Collins, who will still not apologise. She kind of gives this Clayton sort of apology. Well, I'm sorry if people think I should be sorry. But she is not ever going to front up and admit what she did was totally and utterly wrong. She is the pin-up for the type of arrogance that New Zealanders have come to expect from this national government. An absolute pin-up for the type of arrogance that people have come to accept from this national government. Mr Speaker, then there, of course, is the incompetence that they've come to expect from this national government, and Hiki Parata is the perfect pin-up for that. It takes a special kind of minister to establish an inquiry into a scandal that doesn't actually look at the scandal, because that's exactly what Hiki Parata did. She set up an inquiry to look into the scandal involving the Kohanga Trust and the taxpayer money given to it that didn't actually look at it. Let's remind ourselves why this inquiry was established in the first place. Because it became apparent that money was being spent on things like a Trelise Cooper dress, a 21st birthday present, a big farewell dinner, $1,000 cash withdrawals being made out of ATM machines. Somebody's son graduated and the costs of that were borne by the taxpayer. This was the sort of scandal that this inquiry was established not to look at. The inquiry didn't even look at those things. And then Hiki Parata and Peter Sharples called a press conference in the dead of night to announce the results of this inquiry. And they wonder why it is that people think that this government aren't being upfront and are being arrogant and out of touch. Those are two classic examples. This is a government that have one rule for them and another rule for everybody else. It is a government that are interested only in furthering the interests of their mates and those close to them. Look, for example, at the number of National Party donors who have been given honours under this government. Tony Astle, 60 grand to the National Party was enough to make him an officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Chris Parkin, he gave $66,000 to the National Party. That made him a companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Sir Graham Douglas, 25 grand, made him an insignia of Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Sir William Gallagher, $42,000 got him a knighthood. Lady Diana Isaacs, $20,000 made her an officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Oh, and there's old maestro Jonathan Coleman piping up at the perfect time, because of course we know that Gareth Barfoot gave him $5,000 to his campaign and he got made a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit in exchange for that. This is a government only too happy to promote the interests of their donors and their mates, while New Zealanders out there struggling with higher power prices who can't afford to buy houses are completely overlooked by this national government, whose interests, it's very clear whose interests they are governing in. It is not in the interests of ordinary everyday New Zealanders who can't afford to buy a house, who can't afford to pay their power bills. And this government turns a complete blind eye to all of that while they focus on furthering their own interests and the interests of their mates. A government that is completely arrogant and completely out of touch. I would run through the list of appointments to boards and others of the National Party and all their mates and their former MPs and the partners of their MPs and the partners of their former MPs, but I've only got about 30 seconds left, and that would take a whole nother 5-minute speech, and I'd probably still only be scratching the surface of the cronyism and the arrogance that has beset this national government. New Zealanders deserve a government that's focused on their needs, on the interests of all everyday New Zealanders, and that's what they will get after September the 20th, when they have a Labour-led government that's interested in dealing with the real issues affecting New Zealanders, creating jobs, making sure housing is affordable, bringing down the exorbitant price of electricity that this government are in complete denial about, and making sure that our kids get the best education that they can possibly get.
Jonathan Young.
Indeed, what a disgraceful, outrageous fabrication of fiction that came from that member.